Muzzleloading Safari, Guns, Loads, and Results. William Hovey Smith, 2015. I'm the author of Extreme Muzzleloading and other books on muzzleloading, including Hunting with Muzzleloading Shotguns and Smoothbore Muskets. And what follows is a talk with my professional hunter, Ernst Dyson, about the results that we achieved on my 2005 safari with Spear Safari in South Africa.
In present South African laws, a visiting hunter like myself may bring in 3 firearms, so long as one of those firearms is a handgun. So coming from the States, I brought in a .45 caliber rifle, a .50 caliber pistol, and a 12-bore shotgun. So this was my 3 allowable firearms. The guns I selected were all from different makers, and I'm not a representative of any one gun company. I shoot everybody's muzzleloaders. So this way I'm able to give an unbiased opinion of how these guns perform, rather than having to say that my company's guns are always the best and everybody else's are not worth having, which is patently untrue. Starting with the smallest, this is the Thompson Center Encore pistol. It is a very versatile gun. The frame itself can accommodate a rifle buttstock and a rifle barrel. So this frame can be used to form guns that are up to 416 Remington in caliber and all the way down to 22 Hornet. So it covers quite a range. It's also available as a muzzleloading rifle in 209 by 50, meaning it takes a 209 primer and it fires a .50 caliber bullet. This is the Thompson Center Encore 209 by 50 pistol. Now with this handgun, I made a final killing shot on a wildebeest. The shot penetrated 27 inches, completely through the bottom of the rib cage, all the way out and through the spine. Now that is excellent penetration for a .50 caliber handgun. It was powered by 2 50 grain 777 pellets and shot a 370 grain Thompson Center Maxi Ball bullet. This is a Maxi Ball bullet unfired. This was the one actually recovered from the wildebeest. As you can see, it is deformed, expanded, and abraded by its passage through bone. But generally, very effective performance. Continuing in the rifle vein, this is the rifle I used. This is a Knight .45 caliber Ultra Mag. It is a bolt action. It closes. It has 2 safety mechanisms. A conventional side safety here, and also a screw safety here. This way the gun is opened. A 209 primer contained in a full plastic jacket is placed in the receptacle here. I'm now removing one from our preloaded cartridge, like so. The bolt is closed. The safeties, both of them, screwed off. So this is beyond the red ring, and the safety is in the red position. And now the rifle would be ready to fire. The nice thing about having 2 safeties is you can climb in a tree stand with the screwed safety all the way down, or sit in a tree stand with a screwed safety all the way down, and the gun will not fire. It's also somewhat quiet to put on. To unload the gun, the bolt is retracted and the 209 jacket and primer is removed. This system is as nearly waterproof as can be had in a muzzleloading gun, particularly when loaded with a saboted bullet. This side lock is a double-barreled slug shotgun made by the firm of David Petersali in Italy and commonly imported into the U.S. More usually, what you see is just the double-barrel shotgun or a double-barrel rifle. This was one of a small production that had a flip-up rear sight that enabled a round ball load to be used and sighted in. It has two hammers, just like any double hammer shotgun, full cock, fired position, half cock. So you have available two loads that may be used in very short order. This gun was used to take a wildebeest. The first shot went through the front of the wildebeest about here, penetrated about the midline of the body, pierced the spine, and dropped the animal on the spot. The spine shot, however, was not initially or immediately lethal. So the other barrel was used to put a shot through the front of the chest that also exited and hit the spine. Still struggling, the wildebeest was finished with one single shot with a handgun. Thereafter, it shortly expired. In sum, these are all very capable guns. This was the only round ball bullet recovered from the wildebeest. As you can see, it's deformed, it's oval, but it doesn't show the heavy scratches of contact with bone. So this bullet passed through soft tissue on its travels through the animal. In sum, these are all very capable firearms. Are they the only muzzleloading firearms that might be used on plains game in Africa? Certainly by no means. There are now no less than 10 makers in North America producing very capable muzzleloaders. CVA is one. I've been using their Power Belt bullets here. This is a .45 caliber bullet that was used in the rifle. Other makers produce components for muzzleloading guns. This is a Wonder Wad, an impregnated felt wad that's used in the bore between the bullet and the powder charge. We also use larger caliber Wonder Wads in the shotguns. Where does this leave the present hunter in South Africa? As time passes, more and more of these muzzleloading guns are going to be imported from Europe and elsewhere. They are available now by mail order from companies like Cabela's in the United States. The trick is to make sure that you get the correct gun and the correct components and all the components that are needed to go with each gun that might be received by mail order. In time, I am sure there will be more readily available black powder distribution in South Africa. So every South African citizen can also enjoy muzzleloaders and increase the versatility of their hunting experiences. Ernst, you've had a chance to shoot one of these guns, and you saw me take game with all three. So far as the Smoothbore double was concerned, what do you think about it?
Over, yeah, this is the one that I fired. you know, for the amount of powder that I saw going in there and the weight of the bullet coming out the other end, you know, the recoil is really not bad. It does compare probably with my 458 lot, which in my particular rifle doesn't have a lot of recoil. You know, it's a very easy, nice shooting rifle. But what I think I like the most about this particular smoothbore of yours is the versatility. You shot wildebeest with it, and the very next day you were shooting birds. You know, so it's such a nice gun. You could load the one with shot and the one with a lead ball, if you're hunting birds like we are, you know, in Big Five country.
Right. Right.
You know, so you have your shot, but you do have a backup barrel in case something happens. So, you know, I was very pleasantly surprised with this one. You know,
You like the way it handles and feels?
Yeah, and for as old as the basic concept is, it's very, very effective. It's got a tremendous amount of knockdown. It knocked that wildebeest down right in his tracks.
Yes.
And still penetrated, you know, good enough to break the spine. So I was very pleasantly surprised with this particular one. And it's not as modern as the others, but it certainly is equally as effective.
Well, this design would appeal to those with a historical vein who really want to use the old-fashioned looking and appearing muzzleloaders with the attitude, well, if I'm going to shoot a muzzleloader, I want something that looks like a muzzleloader.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the night rifle that we use to take the zebra as well as the kudu, the two largest animals we took. It's a little small in caliber, meaning being 45 caliber. If regulations had permitted it, I would have brought in a 50 caliber pistol and a 50 caliber rifle. But I could only bring in one gun of a particular caliber.
Yeah.
So, living with that, we chose an elongate bullet that has a fair length for its diameter to give fairly good penetration to the animal. How do you think it did?
Ovi, this is like a modern rifle. I mean, the range you can shoot is about the same. The penetration you got was the same as any average sized or average calibered modern rifle. The only negative about it is the time it takes to load. But that's what makes it so nice and authentic. It's you know, the concept of muzzleloading. But other than that, this is like going hunting with a regular rifle. I don't think there's any other drawbacks to it or any negativities.
Well, particularly for the game shooting here, which is commonly 100 yards and closer,
Yeah.
or 150 yards, and these muzzleloaders are very capable at that range. Only if you wish to reach out to 200 or 300 yards, does the modern cartridge rifles, or do the modern cartridge rifles, have an effective advantage over muzzleloading guns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me put this down.
Well, here is one of my personal favorites, the 209 by 50 Thompson Center Encore pistol. This gun with a 100 grain powder charge and a 370 grain bullet is very effective, and I had shot hogs that weighed 350 pounds with it before and killed them with a single shot with the Thompson Center maxi ball here. How do you think it did here?
Avi, when you brought this out, I thought there's something that's going to be a waste of time and it's just going to get in our way. But it was in your holster. It never got in your way. It was never something that fell off or fell over and just disrupted the whole hunting thing. And when you brought it out, you know, after you put that bullet in the wildebeest, when you brought this out, I thought, thank God you had that.
Yes.
Because although he was spine shot, at the time we didn't know it. And I thought he might get up and run away. And you walked up and put another shot in his chest, and that basically finished it. I mean, it killed it on the spot. So it was a handy handgun to have.
Yes.
You know, ready loaded and ready to use.
Yes. Well, this is one of the disadvantages, of course, of using a single shot gun. If you need a rapid follow-up shot, it does take a few minutes to reload. You can employ a pistol that's already loaded much faster than you can reload your rifle. If you need that vital second shot to keep that animal on the ground.
Yeah, it's a perfect backup. This handgun was a perfect backup. I mean, you also took your warthog with it, if I And I mean, it worked out perfect. It's accurate at that distance. Put the animal down. So it's for avid handgun hunters that are interested in muzzleloading, this will be the perfect hunting handgun.
Now there is also the option of putting a scope sight on that gun, which improves the sighting capability, particularly for those not used to using iron sights. Another advantage of the scope is that in very bright light, the glare off the sights themselves can throw off the sight picture terribly. This does not happen with a scope. In the shots I had, there was sufficient shade that was no problem. If we were going after heavier game, if we intended to take a buffalo, there are other black powder muzzleloaders available that would be recommended and are more capable than these guns. You would want a 50 caliber gun. There's also, Knight makes a 52 caliber gun, which shoots a full 50 caliber saboted projectile. These are very effective, and they have been used with success on water buffalo, for example. And if I should come again to take larger game, like the giraffe, for example, like water buffalo, I would certainly bring a 50 caliber rifle rather than use the 45. Although the 45 was adequate for this class of game that we actually pursued and took. What do you think is the general future prospects for muzzleloading in South Africa?
Ovi, our new gun regulations makes it extremely hard for us to own firearms. By law, as a regular individual, you're only allowed to have 4 firearms. And you have to pick your category. So if you have 1 handgun, that's it, you can only have 1 handgun. If you have 1 shotgun, only 1 shotgun. So that leaves you with 2 hunting rifles that you may legally own, which makes it really hard. I mean, you can imagine, you would like a small caliber, medium caliber, large caliber, maybe 2 large calibers if you're hunting big 5. You have to have a shotgun for birds. You have to have a handgun. So it makes it extremely hard. But what the regulation has gone and done is they've actually deregulated muzzle-loading firearms or replicas of a muzzle-loader. So something like this would be a replica because it's actually a modern rifle, where this will be a muzzle-loader. So you can own and have as many muzzle-loading firearms as you like. The only negative part is you have to get a permit to buy the black powder, which is not a big deal. You get the permit. It's actually a transport permit. And once you have that, you can go with that black powder wherever you like. And so that's definitely a benefit. And I think, and I already know of a number of South Africans have started purchasing black powder and getting into it. So more than likely, this is the new future of firearms in South Africa. Maybe not so many people hunting with them yet, but a lot of people are starting to acquire them and using them just for target shooting and fun shooting. But the next step obviously will be hunting. As soon as the people master their black powder firearms and know how to use them, so most definitely they're going to start hunting with them. So I think there's a much brighter future for muzzleloading now than ever before. And obviously with technology, people are going to develop more and more black powder firearms like that are easier to use and maybe even a little bit more effective over distance. So I think there's a very bright future for these firearms in this country.
Wow, thanks again. Okay. Well, all told, thank you again for a very successful hunt.
Ovi, I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun as well.
Good.
Besides extreme muzzleloading, which contains details of these hunts, I also have backyard deer hunting and an ebook series on muzzleloading guns, which includes muzzleloaders for hunters, shooting and maintaining your muzzleloader, hunting with muzzleloading shotguns and smoothbore muskets, and hunting big and small game with muzzleloading pistols. I also have a new series of business books and a profit series, the first of which is Ideas for New Businesses, and following is a little blurb about me and the book. Videos with live footage of some of these hunts will appear on future YouTubes. For information on Spear Safari, go to their website, www.spearsafari.com. For information on my books, blogs, and nearly 450 videos, go to www.hoviesmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.